This is not just another trade dispute, this is an energy war. Canada has just made a move that could send shockwaves through the global oil market-cutting crude supply to the US. For decades, America has relied on Canada as its #1 energy partner, but that relationship just took a deadly hit. What does this mean for you? Expect soaring gas prices, supply shortages, and an energy crisis that could cripple industries across the country. Alberta, which supplies over 4.5 million barrels of oil per day to the US, is now putting Washington on notice. America took Canada for granted. Now, they'll feel the pain. And the biggest shock, the US may be forced to turn to Venezuela, Iran, or Iraq to fill the gap. This isn't just economic warfare. This could change global energy politics forever. So what happens next? Does the US have an exit plan? And can Trump fix this before it spirals out of control? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will change everything. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to Trump's latest tariff war. The US recently imposed new tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, claiming it was a national security risk. But Canada, they weren't having it. Canada is the largest foreign supplier of oil to the US, shipping nearly 4.5 million barrels per day. But now, in retaliation, Alberta has slashed exports, and Ontario has threatened to cut electricity supplies to US states like New York and Michigan. Wall Street is already in chaos. Gas prices are climbing in California, Texas, and Florida. The auto industry is scrambling. EV battery production is now facing major delays. OPEC is watching closely, and they could use this as leverage to further restrict oil supply to the US. This is no longer just about tariffs. This is a full-scale economic showdown between the US and its biggest energy partner. US politicians are furious. Some are demanding emergency negotiations, while others are calling for retaliatory action against Canada. But here's the problem. Trump may have overplayed his hand. Oil executives are warning that if Canada follows through with this, gas prices could reach $6 or $7 per gallon in some states. Meanwhile, global energy giants like Saudi Arabia and Russia are watching closely, looking for opportunities to fill the gap left by Canada. Wall Street analysts are now sounding the alarm. This could be the most significant energy crisis since the 1970s. The Federal Reserve is worried that energy inflation could tank the economy. Major US corporations like Ford and GM are now pressuring Washington to fix this fast. And Americans, they're about to feel it where it hurts the most, at the gas pump. So the question is, will Trump back down, or is he willing to take this fight even further? The Trump administration is now stepping in. Emergency meetings have been scheduled between US and Canadian officials. Senators and oil executives are urging Washington to de-escalate. Some analysts suggest Canada might turn to China or the European Union to export oil instead of the US. Meanwhile, Canada isn't backing down. Trudeau and Ford are pushing forward with even more energy restrictions, and Alberta's premier has a clear message. If the US wants Canadian oil, they'll have to pay a premium. This could be one of the biggest geopolitical miscalculations in modern trade history. Could the US be on the verge of losing its biggest energy partner? So what happens next? Will the US lift the tariffs and restore relations with Canada? Could Canada permanently cut US oil exports and shift to new trade partners? Will gas prices continue to soar, forcing Washington to make a deal? One thing is clear, the US cannot afford an energy crisis right now. What do you think? Will this trade war end in negotiation or escalation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking global news.